I'm Dave Giles from All EV Canada. I'm the technical training and business development manager with the All EV Canada. I do many different roles within the technical side for All EV Canada, as well as many other roles outside of All EV, as well as the Steele Auto Group. So I'm not going to get into a whole lot of my background, but I am a Red Seal. I am AST. I am on the board of directors of apprenticeship. I do work with several universities in battery electric vehicle technology. I'm also certified by the CSA group as a subject matter expert on electric vehicles. I deal with innovation, engineers. We do a lot of different things. So make sure you check out our Facebook website, Facebook group, I should say, All EV Canada. Check out the forums, EVAC, New Brunswick electric vehicle owners, Tesla vehicle owners, electric vehicle owners. I usually post on there. I also have my LinkedIn. I have a lot of different projects that I'm involved with. So if you're curious about electric vehicles and the inner workings of them, you definitely check out our pages. We always have some pretty cool stuff, as well as our website. Under education, you'll see a bunch of different really cool stuff that we continuously post and talk about electric vehicles. So today, this came a bit of an ad hoc, I guess you could say. A lot of controversy around rust protection of your electric vehicle. I started doing rust protection on vehicles back in 1993, and that was obviously on gas-powered vehicles. And when I was early in the trade, and understanding the dynamics. And of course, back then we had all the products that were dripping, and it was messy. And I remember how deadly the bays were with being slippery, and and all that. And of course, the evolution of rust products, rust protection products has changed dramatically over the years. And we'll talk a little bit about the different types of products, but in this presentation, I do not talk about brands. I do not talk about, the different makes in the sense of the products that we even use. It's just because this presentation is more about answering some of your questions about electric vehicles and the world of rust proofing. And obviously the big thing is the application, as well as the process that we follow for electric vehicles. And we're going to start with that, and we're going to get into it because it really starts with, I was going to get this thing to move here. Sometimes it's a little tough, but as you know, a lot of our sites that we do is we are specialists in this field. We're all very much experts. Background into electric vehicles for many years, myself since about 2004. We build different things. We do a lot of education stuff. So, but once again, we are in Atlantic Canada with two main dealers operating with two full service shops. So one in Moncton, one in Halifax. So, but just moving on here a little bit. And tonight's presentation, we're actually going to be going till about 7:40. My Zoom link is good for about 40 minutes. So I'm going to be weary of the time. I want to give enough time that you can ask some questions at the end. But this is the elephant in the room, really coming down to the warranty issue. I figured I'd start with this first to go through this a little bit to make sure people are comfortable with what is being told to them out there and understanding it properly. I find that there's a lot of opinions, there's a lot of misconceptions, and it all follows around warranty. Once again, can you put rust protection on your vehicle? Definitely yes. There is no question about it. You can rust protect your vehicle. Does it void your warranty on your vehicle? Absolutely not. It does not. And what I've done is I put some evidence through the different manufacturers, as I showed in the last slide. The Steele Auto Group is one of the largest auto groups in Canada. They have a backing of about 28 OEMs, and some of the dealers are offering rust protection right in their own dealerships. So we'll talk about that. And to be fair, to be kind of non-biased, some of the stuff I use is not from the Steele Auto Group. It's in other dealers. showing across the country what they're doing, and it's better understanding what is written. A lot of people don't read their warranty information, so they don't really understand it, and they talk, they listen to opinions and stuff from salespeople and stuff like that that may not fully understand the warranty process. I've been doing this for 35 years. I hold dual red seals. And I've seen the world of warranty. I've seen the world of rust and so on with warranty through different manufacturers in my career. So in Canada, we have the Consumer Protection Act, which is very interesting to read and to get to understand if you're curious about warranty and stuff like that. Manufacturers have to follow. This is their over umbrella is the Consumer Protection Act. In the U.S., it's a Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. I probably said that incorrectly, but the U.S. has a very, very strict warranty act that really holds account to manufacturers, where they cannot have a monopoly on the vehicles themselves. And this gets us into another subject of the right to repair. But once again, we're going to talk a little bit about this. I don't want to bring these overbearing areas in. This government stuff is like, yeah, okay, whatever, but what is it really, the rubber to the road? What does it say? So let's just jump right into it. So what I did is I gone through some of the manufacturers. I'm going to go into the manufacturers themselves. So like, once again, manufacturers have limitations on their warranties. What does that mean? How does that affect you as a vehicle owner? As well as there's opinions around these limitations. A lot of times people will give opinions on warranty, but haven't really referenced the OE manufacturer's materials. So it's very important when you get your car, read through that, go in there and find out what happens if you want to do something to your vehicle. You want to put a hitch on your vehicle. Do you want to under rust proof your vehicle? Do you want to add roof racks to your vehicle? A lot of that stuff will be addressed in that booklet. And if you're unsure, one of the things you can do in these booklets at the back of it has 1-800 numbers to the manufacturers. So once again, when you're dealing with a dealer directly, the dealer itself is an extension of the manufacturer, but sometimes communication can be lost because of turnover with staff and stuff like that. So if you really want to get from the word of mouth, contact the OEM. I did that today. I actually asked a couple of Nissan. I called Nissan today and got clarity, and it was really interesting. So I have some stuff on here about that as well. But once again, I took it directly from the OEM. So I'm not giving my opinion here. This is totally on the site. And I'm going to go back a little bit too. Is rust proofing your vehicle is not a requirement. Many manufacturers will say it's not recommended, it's not required, you don't need to do it. But you got to remember, they're writing it for the mass market. And you got to realize that a lot of vehicles that are operating through a manufacturer, usually in the southern US states and so on like that. In Canada, we have 24 million registered vehicles in Canada. In California, one US state, there's 30 million registered vehicles in one US state, and Florida has about 18 million vehicles registered in one state, and all of Canada has 24 million. So we're a very small piece of the pie, or the 247 million cars that are on the roads registered throughout North America. So the thing is a lot of the stuff, we're just a small little point or part in this whole world of corrosion on the vehicle. So what do we do to help prevent corrosion on our vehicles, and what can we do to ensure that we don't do something to the vehicle that would void a component or a system warranty on the vehicle? Now let's want to go back one step here. It says, can your warranty on your vehicle be voided? And this is a big word. Vehicle means total elimination of your warranty. I'm going to talk about what does void the warranty on your vehicle. And undercoating or rust proofing your vehicle does not void the vehicle's entire warranty. So we're going to talk about what does get voided and how it's voided on a vehicle if you decide to do a rust treatment and it's not done properly. And that's really where it comes down to. So I went through a couple manufacturers and I got, so this is straight out today. I just did this one as this one vehicle as well. So I did a Hyundai, went into a Hyundai, punched in 2021 Hyundai Kona EV. And once again, they always have, once again, in the manuals, you got to be very careful. Nissan also has some very unique things in their manual to maintain their warranty on their battery. Nissan requires you to go in every year to have your battery tested, your high voltage battery, in order to maintain that warranty. Hyundai has things like this. Every time you go for charging, you're supposed to check the coolant level in your reservoir. And, so once again, there's certain things in these that, people would never even realize. But we're talking about undercoating here and rust proofing your vehicle. So let's move into that. So with Hyundai, they actually tell us about their vehicles, about corrosive materials used for ice and snow removal, like salt and brine and all these different things, can accelerate the process of rusting in a vehicle, especially when this stuff gets jammed up, it gets underneath the wheel well covers and rocker panels, and it can hold salt and hold brine and so on. So Hyundai actually recommends thoroughly flushing the vehicle underbody and wheel openings and washing everything out, and doing this in cases, even once a month. And once again, these are kind of, you read here, actually, I think in some of them will say exhaust, but meanwhile, I punched in a Kona EV just because it's written for the same vehicle. But the thing is, with EVs, it's not as simple because they have a lot of underbelly pans that cover everything. You have a big battery. So washing the stuff out is a little more difficult. Even on an ICE vehicle, it would be a little bit more difficult as well. So, but once again, we're looking at what the manufacturer's recommending on this. So going into it, into the next page here, they talk about this high corrosion areas. So Hyundai even states in their own information for their maintenance, they're maintaining warranty and stuff on the vehicle. If you live in an area where your vehicle is regularly exposed to corrosive materials, corrosion protection is particularly important on the vehicle itself. So whether you're washing the car or treating areas that that are prone to corrosion, is actually a recommendation by that manufacturer. But let's take a look at another manufacturer. Let's look at GM. GM has a couple of different types of warranty on their vehicle. They have a corrosion body sheet metal panels are covered, in this case as US, so I just put 3 years, or probably about 60,000 kilometers, and or rust through on any body sheet metal panel that rusts through an actual hole in the sheet metal is covered up to 6 years, or 160,000 kilometers about, or whatever comes first. So now, when we talk about rust through and stuff like that, I'll talk about a little bit what these mean, but it's not from salt. It's not from corrosion that happens from brine on the road or mud that accumulates. This is corrosion that happens from a manufacturer defect or workmanship in the materials themselves. If corrosion happens because of salt and brine and buildup and stuff like that, that would be an outside to in type of rust perforation, which wouldn't be covered under warranty. So we're going to look at that and how the manufacturer actually reads that. But once again, I like this one because GM really does state it very well. Your vehicle designed and built to resist corrosion. Application of additional rust inhibiting materials is neither necessary nor required under the sheet metal coverage. And we have to look what that coverage actually is. GM makes no recommendations concerning the usefulness or value of such products. Application of aftermarket rust proofing products may create an environment which reduces the corrosion resistance built into your vehicle. Repairs to correct damage caused by applications are not covered by the new vehicle limited warranty. So that means that if you use a corrosion inhibitor on a vehicle and there's a fault within that system, it's that system or the component that is not covered by warranty. Your vehicle warranty is not voided on this vehicle. It's only the components that the product is on. And if that is the case, now the thing is, you have to read a little bit further, because somebody would say, well, why would I put this on? Because, that will void my corrosion warranty. Well, your corrosion warranty on your vehicle is not from what you think it is. So once again, you got to read the fine print within the warranty guides So essentially, the warranty will not be honored on this vehicle for rust or perforation that is caused by airborne and fallout, rust, rail dust, salt from sea, air, salt, or other materials used on road conditions, chemicals, tree sap, stones, hail, earthquake, water, any kind of water or flood, windstorm, lightning, or the application of chemicals or sealants subsequent to manufacture, etc., is not covered. So it comes down to, so what does cover? What does this rust perforation cover? So, so if you think that you get a rust spot on your vehicle and you're driving after the winter time and you take it in and they determine it's not from a manufacturer defect in the material or a workmanship problem with the vehicle, that warranty will not be honored on that vehicle. So, so it's up to the dealer to give a goodwill warranty, but the OEM can refuse it in that case. So rust through perforation from GM, any body sheet metal panel that rusts through due to corrosion, an actual hole in the sheet metal is covered up to 6 years or 160,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. This coverage only applies to body sheet metal, nothing else, absolutely nothing else on the vehicle, only to body sheet metal panels and not other metal components. So once again, it's like, so we're looking at different manufacturers here. So I'm going to go into the next one. Let's go to Tesla. What does Tesla say about rust protection? And I love Tesla because they actually really say it well. This body rust limited warranty covers rust perforation, hole through the body panel from the inside outwards result. So basically they're saying that it's for any kind of holes only, and it has to be from the inside out, not from the outside in. So if you have a rust on your vehicle from maybe a stone chip or rock chip and that, and it gets rusted and rusts through, they'll refuse that warranty. But the thing is, they'll also refuse it because the only way they'll do that warranty, and they have a 12-year unlimited mileage warranty because it's only a defect in the material or workmanship. That's it. So that's the only way they will warranty those systems, are the body panels or rust through and all this stuff on a vehicle if it's a defect in material or workmanship. So, and then they even talk about going down here, vehicles treated against rust procedures commonly referred to as rust proofing or undercoating will also, basically void the rust perforation warranty. But the likelihood of ever getting that warranty is it would have to be basically a manufacturer that has agreed that they have a defect in their materials and or a defect in workmanship. That's the only way. So at the end of the day, it's left to the consumer to protect their vehicle. So, so in the case of our roads and how we drive and the salt and corrosion, whether we're just taking apart the vehicle and washing it, I'll talk about that a little bit, or, applying some products in certain areas to protect these areas that are known for rusting is going to be very important for the longevity of your vehicle. And we'll talk about the longevity as well. But the thing is, this is where it tells in Tesla, corrosion caused by due to resulting from accidents, abuse, neglect, improper maintenance or operation of the vehicle, installation of an accessory, exposure to chemical substance, or damages resulting from an act of God or nature, fire, or improper storage voids the warranty as well. So really, the likelihood of ever getting any kind of warranty for rust perforation on a vehicle like Tesla is probably very, very, very little. I know a lot of people that had problems like paint. There's a paint defect, that's different. When you have a rusted out panel on a vehicle, I know lots of them. We've sold probably over 400 plus Teslas. And, in some of the cases, there was some rust on them and they're refused on warranty. So once again, this is another manufacturer, how they see it. So once again, in addition to the above exclusions, limitations, new vehicle warranty does not cover any corrosion or paint defects, including but not limited to the following. So, So once again, corrosion from defects. So if you get corrosion from a defect, not covered. Test the manufacturer's supplied materials or workmanship causing perforation holes in body panels or chassis from the inside out only. So they're very, very, very protective of what they're going to cover in perforation rust. So, and of course, we live in a very very high corrosive environment. A lot of our testing, even on vehicles, is done up in Newfoundland. So, but here's Nissan's. Nissan goes into talking about the surface corrosion, basically limitations. We're going to look at those limitations. Surface corrosion means corrosion affecting a readily visible surface area of a component of the vehicle, but not including the vehicle's underbody. They do not cover underbody corrosion. So once again, perforation from corrosion. Original equipment vehicle body sheet metal components are warranted to be free of perforation from corrosion, defined as rust through from the inner surface to the outer surface, resulting in a hole, and they will do this for up to 60 months. So rusting, if I took a piece of bare sheet metal and stick it outside, I guarantee after 2 or 3 years, it probably still wouldn't be rusted through. So they really do protect themselves, but I'll still have a rusty panel. And maybe in a couple more years, 5 or 6 years, or even 7 years, you might start seeing that, especially with the materials they use today. So Nissan goes under rust, perforation, surface corrosion warranties. Does not cover body panel rust caused by lack of maintenance, abuse, or accident. Rust where paint has been damaged by stone chipping or debris from the road. Rust caused by environmental fallout, hail, tree, sap, salt, or submersion in water, sand, or mud. Exhaust system components. So funny, I'm on the leaf, and it's actually talking about exhaust system. I guess maybe there's some leaves that have exhaust on them. I don't know. Corrosion of outer trim parts, such as moldings. However, corrosion of outer trim parts are warranted for 12 months or 20,000 kilometers, so 1 year really. So once again, very, very little amount of protection on the vehicle for that. So essentially, what causes corrosion? Basically, removal of paint or protective coatings on the surface of the vehicle underbody through damage caused by stone and gravel impact. And they even address it, but they say they won't cover it. So they know it. So they're saying, how do you protect your vehicle? Best is by washing your vehicle, keeping it clean once a week if the weather and conditions permit. Once again, there's certain stipulations on this. But on this one here, they actually have it down here that is if you have surface corrosion which is not corrected, and you notice that will result in perforation, and you don't do anything about it, and you get a hole, and you say, yeah, I saw that little rust perforation, but it wasn't covered under warranty, it turned into a hole, and since you knew about it before, they'll void that warranty if you didn't have anything done about it until the hole happens. So it's becomes a catch-22 with some of this stuff. Limitations on this warranty has nothing about using any kind of rust protection on your vehicle. So, once again, they talk about tires are in separate warranties and so on. But the thing is they also, it says, once again, they put it in here, this is all from the same manual. Basically, you have, tree sap, salt, sand, hail, they can get you on anything. So really, it becomes, there's no way to win on a rust warranty, because once again, it goes back to manufacturer workmanship or defect in the materials. That's the only thing that would cause a warranty to be executed on a vehicle. So if you have, rust hole in your vehicle and there was a stone chip, or they could prove it because the paint's gone, then they could say that you had a paint chip there, it rusted through, and your warranty is not valid on your rust protection on your vehicle. So once again, it's all about you protecting your own vehicle, protecting your investment. The manufacturer will do so much up to what they can control, and that's very important. It's what the manufacturer control. They can't control the environment. They can't control where you drive. They can't control our roads or the weather and stuff like that, but they can control the process and how they build their cars, and the materials that they use. That's what they can control. That's why they have warranty on that stuff. Once again, what is warranty? A manufacturer's insurance that components and systems operate to specifications for the duration of a specified time. So once again, failure because of manufacturing or a defect in the part before the expected life without any outside influence. That means that if you do something to the vehicle that would cause the part to wear faster or do something, could void the warranty on that part or that system. So going back to the warranty on rust issues, it has to be rusted from the inside out. All manufacturers are the same on that. Not caused by salt or other corrosive catalysts, as well as no chips or paint damage as well in that rusted area. Hole has to be from the inside out without paint damage in most cases. Warranty is only based on defect in materials or workmanship, not by salt or other factors. And vehicle must have a service record that cleaning was done, and frequently it was done for perforation warranty. And that's not all manufacturers. Some manufacturers require in order to execute the perforation warranty is that you have to prove that you washed your car. So it's kind of silly in that way. So it comes down to, why don't manufacturers recommend any extra protection? Or do they? And they actually do. So I'll show you in a second. But Canada has a total of 24 million registered vehicles, which I talked about. So Canada's a very small drop in a bucket in vehicles, and same as even the northern U.S. states. Most vehicles live in the southern U.S. So a lot of these warranties aren't a real big issue. Rust protection is designed for the mass market of down in southern, the southern U.S. Or maybe in areas that don't use brine and road salt, they might use sand and other materials that's more environmentally friendly. So manufacturers, the biggest thing is manufacturers cannot control the products or the process, as most applicators who spray and put the product on the vehicles are not trained or have specific knowledge of the vehicles that they're actually doing. So it's basically they spray the underneath of the vehicle, spray inside components. Some of them drill holes and put the product inside the holes and so on. But the manufacturer can't control that. And also the manufacturer cannot endorse a product safe for the vehicle that they don't control. Once again, it goes back to the OEM side of it. Now, do they offer rust proofing of a vehicle? And definitely they do. So manufacturers do offer it. I found a few here. I have a Honda. They have their corrosion protection that they spray on the vehicle. Once again, they give you 10 years of worry-free protection with a yearly touch-up that they do. Toyota has theirs. This is Toyota in the top of the page here. I can't really see it. I have a lot of the stuff going on my page, but once again, it's a spray-on stuff. No drilling, no holes, no drips. It's a spray-on product. And just to give an example, this is I believe in Ontario. To do a Toyota vehicle with their process is over $2,000 to do that. And you can look it up. I don't know if you can see the top of it, but yeah, you can even Google it if you want, rust protection Toyota. And, because they're following the same kind of process where they know their vehicles, they're taking them apart, they're washing, cleaning, and drying, touching up, and then applying the product. There's Nissan down at the bottom here. Nissan's protection plan for their vehicles, same thing, a spray product after the OEM. The vehicle's built, comes in, you can add an extra protection package to the vehicle with a spray product on the vehicle. Not necessary, you don't have to do it. And that's the one thing that people sometimes think that, this is being forced on them. And this is up to you. If you don't feel the value, you trust the manufacturer for the rust protection and their warranties, then yeah, great, but if you feel that you want to protect your investment, you want to hold the value of the vehicle, you don't want to rust out, because we know that these cars are lasting longer. We know that. I know that. I work with the ARA, the Automotive Recyclers Association of Canada. They don't get electric vehicles that are wore out in their salvage yards. The only cars that come in are the ones that are smashed right now. So, and we are seeing cars on the roads now hitting well into the 200-300 and plus, in some cases, 500,000-600,000 kilometers on vehicles in Atlantic Canada. So these cars are lasting a lot longer. And you'll hear from those owners that they do some sort of rust protection on their vehicles. So once again, just showing some of the different things that, yes, OEMs dealers are doing some of these products. And I know other dealers like GM and Chrysler and Ford and Mitsubishi and all these other ones also offer some sort of protection package that they know and they can control. And they know that they're not just spraying everything, because even an untrained person spraying the exhaust on a nice vehicle with a rust proofing product, the exhaust hits 1,000 degrees and it's an oil-based product, it probably will catch on fire. So, if the car burns to the ground, it's not the manufacturer's fault that, that they didn't know that was the exhaust, or somebody sprays the brake rotors down and I've seen that before, where the customer's vehicle, they get on the road and they had no brakes because they had sprayed the rotors, because the people that were spraying the product were just spraying anything that was metal. And of course, that would scare an OEM because they can't control the product. They don't know the product. And of course, now we have high voltage and you have cables and plastics and insulation with these connectors. They don't want products that are going to try and creep in and attack those seals, which can create isolation faults on the vehicle. And of course, the customer goes in, they have a problem with their high voltage system and find out that the seals are swollen on this high voltage connector, possibly from a product. And and they don't want a customer that's upset with them either. So they just say, hey, we can't control it, so we don't recommend it. But you know what? If you want it done by us, we can definitely do it. So this is what we're starting to see a little bit as well. What really voids a vehicle's warranty? And this is the big thing that comes up. What voids entire vehicle's warranty? Salvage, rebuilt titles, odometer issues with tampering. I'm heavily involved with that with the RCMP regional police, with people that try and alter odometers. Vehicle modifications used for off-road, commercial, racing, etc. Country restrictions. Some vehicles that cross over the border don't hold the same warranty. It voids the entire vehicle's warranty. Lemon car laws. If your car has been identified as a lemon, it's sold back to the manufacturer. The manufacturer then can sell it off as a lemon car. It has no warranty on that vehicle. And environmental damages like flood, lightning, earthquakes, and other problems also can be, void the entire vehicle's warranty. But you're not going to void the entire vehicle's warranty by having a rust product put on your vehicle. But will improper undercoating, I shouldn't use the word undercoating is a bad word, rust protection, void a warranty? Definitely it will. If the product is found to be directly linked to the failure of that component or system, the warranty can be refused on that system or component, but won't void the entire vehicle's warranty. So that would be from an inexperienced person putting the application on. No different. In my career, I saw where somebody had sprayed undercoating or rust protection in the snorkel of a gas engine, thinking that airbox was some sort of tube, and turned out they had some sensor issues and so on. The bill was well over $2,000, not covered by warranty. That wasn't the manufacturer's fault that the mass airflow sensor and the airbox had been contaminated. So yes, the warranty wouldn't be honored. Did it void the engine warranty? No. Did it void the transmission warranty? No. Did it void the suspension warranty? Absolutely not. So the thing is, it voids the direct contact, the connection to what the product is there. So warranty will only affect the system or component, not the entire vehicle. Most important aspect of rust protection application is about experience, knowledge, and the process each vehicle must go through from start to finish. And that is the most important thing about protecting the vehicles. What are the benefits? We know about the age and longevity of the vehicles. Most vehicle warranties for rust perforation, is, you're hitting around 240,000 kilometers. We're saying these cars are going 500, 600,000 kilometers easy. So the thing is that it's gone. And remember, you got to keep in your mind that rust warranties are for defects and workmanship. If it's salt caused or mud caused or stone chips and all these things that come in, that's not covered by the warranty. That's your insurance if you want to go through that for comprehensive or collision. But once again, it's not the manufacturer's fault. They don't control where you drive your vehicle. they can have huge limitations. Defects and workmanship are the two things that will allow a warranty to be executed, but not salt or road damage. And also the rust has to be from the inside out. So there's even another provision there. So, and like I said, you go through your owner's manuals, you can see it, read it for yourselves. You don't have to listen to me on that. So let's look at the process that happens on an electric vehicle for what happens. And this is very unique. EVs have larger than normal belly pans. So what happens is they like to accumulate dirt. It doesn't matter if you're driving a Kona, a Bolt, a Leaf, a Tesla, Ioniq, they all have the same inherent problems. They like to capture dirt and mud. Some of them can be more excessive, like the video showing here. Some of them are not as excessive. So once again, all the belly pans have to be removed from the vehicle and everything has to be washed down. So, but important part of one of our points in our process, in every single one of the vehicles that we do in electric vehicles, we have a specific process for every electric vehicle that comes in. Our technicians are trained on each type of vehicle that comes in for rust protection. So the connectors, cables, battery, electronics must be identified, then protected before we do any of our work. At that point, the vehicle is disassembled and then washed down. So that means that, we use a low power pressure washer, and we wash everything. We take all the panels off. We take the inner fender wells out. We take all the wiper, the cowl, all the plastics come out of the vehicle, and everything is washed down. And then we let it dry. So this process takes about 4 to 6 hours. This example of all the pieces that come off the vehicle, everything is cleaned, washed, and then and more importantly, rust protection isn't just about spraying chemicals on the vehicle. It's also treating the areas that have notable rust already forming. And in this case here, this is a 2020 Bolt, I believe it was. And here it is, there's already showing signs of rust in certain areas. This would not be covered under the manufacturer's warranty. This would be the responsibility of the owner of the vehicle. So at this point, once it dries, then we basically treat these areas. So we repaint these areas. They sand them down. They use the OEM paint. We get the OEM paint from our supplier, and this gets treated first. So it's all the pieces that have any kind of rust are treated. So it's not just that we're just taking the panels off and washing and spraying it. We're actually going over the vehicle, inspecting, seeing any kind of rust issues underneath especially. We touch them up, we let the paint dry, and then we put our product on. The product we use is a clear natural product. It's non-conductive product, so it has a very high resistance. Not that that even matters with electric vehicles, because part of our process is we don't spray any of the high voltage components, any of the cabling and so on. And if any of the product gets on anything, it is wiped down because it's inspected at the end of the application. The product is 100% environmentally friendly. Essentially, you could eat the product. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's it. It can get into the environment, will not hurt any of the environment. And also, we only use a third of the product that a typical car would use in the application, because it's all about our process. We're specific, we're direct, and we do the areas that only need to be done. In fact, in some vehicles, like we did a couple of the Lightnings and that, when that was done, the process was done, you didn't even know that we did anything. There's nothing dripping underneath the car. You're not getting it on your pants. None of that. It's super clean. It does what it's supposed to do. And you're not losing, half of it the minute the guy drives down the road in a rainstorm. So the thing is, it's a very specific process for the application. The dangers of not knowing what you're doing, you're dealing with a high voltage vehicle. It's pretty safe anyways, but the thing is, there is some concerns. I do a lot of first responders training on electric vehicles, and one of the concerns does come from undercoating electric vehicles with black products. People that don't know what they're doing, they spray everything down underneath the vehicle, and the orange cables now become black cables. And it can mask some of the orange cables. Products that can attack the shielding, or rubber products that seal the connectors. So somebody that decides to spray down all the inverter and charger and everything under the hood on a vehicle like a Bolt, once again, those products, they can be very very aggressive, and they can swell seals and stuff like that. So, the product we use absolutely has no issues against rubber, but we don't take a chance. We only do the areas that need to be done. We don't need to be spraying plastic cables and plastic housing and aluminum, and it's like, why are you doing that? So electrocution hazards with improper application, high pressure washing using a power washer directly on high voltage cables. Once again, there's a lot of isolation that makes the vehicles very safe, but still at the same time, if you have an inexperienced person doing a rust protection on a vehicle, once again, you don't want somebody just spraying randomly underneath the vehicle and washing things off. And wasted product, environmentally damaging. Products we use, like I said, are very environmentally friendly. And they meet the needs of working with the electric vehicle for environmental impact as well, and keeping the vehicle on the road longer as well too. So that's kind of my end here. I'm going to open up the chats here. I probably have a few minutes. So once again, I have a couple people that have sent some questions in, and I'm going to try and answer them the best I can. Just give me 1 second here. That's going to go through. So, okay, I'm just going to go through the first one. My concern is impact electrical wiring and components and voiding said warranties on those items. You're likely going to get into that, but I assume your undercoating process addresses this risk. And exactly it. We are experts. There is no question about it. We do things to electric vehicles that nobody in the country does, and we're recognized for that. So we know these cars inside and out, and our technicians are trained with the same type of level that they know exactly what the process is, where to go, and they can identify. In fact, they actually identify problems before they even start the process. We had a car come in with some sheathing that was a little bit damaged on the vehicle. Turned out to be a mount on the vehicle, so they were able to identify it. And that's the expertise that we have within our centers, and that's what makes the process. So the wiring and components like that aren't even an issue for us, because we don't get into those areas, because we know that that's not what we have to be. That's what we know, that you're not supposed to be in that area, and it doesn't matter anyways, because it will be protected from our application as well. I have another question here. How long does the rust protection last on my vehicle? That's a great question, because a lot of times people are asked about applying a rust protection on a vehicle and keeping it going back once a year, every year. And no different with us, because the beauty with us is that it's a labor thing. So like our cost is almost all, it's a good deal, because the amount of labor we spend on a car, taking it all apart and doing this and washing everything off, is based on the environment itself that the car is being driven in. So once a year for they always say touch up, and even the other manufacturers that are doing the same thing. Touch up is really just taking it in, washing off underneath, and reapplying and inspecting those areas like the subframes and the frame rails, and the brackets, especially under the front where there may be like a rad support or a thermal exchanger there and stuff like that, where there's salt and debris, and that can sit in those areas and cause rust. So we wash all that out, and then we'll reapply just into those areas some protection as well. So I have somebody here. I've been a big fan of corrosion free for years and have awesome success with it. The lack of information around rust proofing EVs is the majority concerning, as folks are already hesitant in taking the dive into the BEV market. I have a Mach-E that I've been looking to get done, but just unsure what to believe and what you read. What percent of BEVs that all EV Canada has sold have been rust proofed? And I'll tell you, I think last month we did over 35 vehicles already, or actually already this month. So my vehicles has been rust proofed. I know many people have been doing it for years. I know even cars have come from other provinces that have been done. It's a very, but the thing is to make to make you feel better is to basically read the warranty guide. The warranty guide can guarantee you is not going to say rust proofing your vehicle is going to avoid the warranty, but just like anything, if you put something on a vehicle and it causes direct damage to that component on the vehicle, that's considered an outside influence that is beyond the control of the manufacturer, and they will probably refuse warranty on that part. If you have a rust hole and you've been undercoating it for the last 10 years, the manufacturer would say that, well, that rust hole is not caused by a manufacturer defect or workmanship issue. That's caused by rust and stuff like salt, or debris, and but that's where these other warranties kick in. So when you apply a product on a vehicle, rust proofing product, they have a warranty that will protect you from rusting and from rust and corrosion, so on, that the manufacturer warranty doesn't cover. So, and once again, it's reviewing those warranties. But the thing is once again, and if you're ever unsure, if somebody tells you if you undercoat or you rust proof your vehicle, it will void the warranty, the best thing to get their name, get like who they are, and then contact the OEM and ask them, ask the OEM, just as I did with Nissan today. And, once again, so it goes down, and they even say it's about the process is the biggest thing. It's about the application and who's applying it. That's what makes them hesitant. So the thing is, if you get professionals that are applying the product and they know the vehicles, they know your vehicle, they know what the systems are, that's exactly, those are the safe ones to go with. Because even when it goes into the dealer and it's going in for a warranty issue on, let's say, I don't know, and maybe you have a brake issue or caliper issue or something like that, and the car has been rust proofed and, it's been done properly, the technician won't even know that it's been done. So that's the problem. But when it goes in there, and being a technician myself, going in there and you're covered in like this stuff. I remember in the days you used to use graphite grease on cars. And it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. We hated it. And a car came in that was rust protected using some of these products in the early days, it was absolutely a nightmare. Or the early days, you had to leave the car on the street because it was dripping for like an hour after, or even a day later, it's still dripping. So that's different. Today's products are very different, and they work very effectively. And it's not about the products, it's about the process. All the products are very good. All the products are used out there. I have no complaints. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert on their products themselves, but I know that the process is very important, and attacking the rust as it starts, coating those areas, and then ensuring that the vehicle is protected in areas that would see a buildup of mud, salt, and so on, are clean and free of all that. Okay, I don't know if I have any other questions. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to leave it at that. I think this has been recorded. So whether you recorded it yourself through a screen capture or whatnot, we will be posting this on our channels. So you can review it, listen to it again. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to us. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, not on Instagram, not so much, but if you do, probably reach out on Instagram, I'd probably get a hold of me. But the thing is, even to contact one of our members in Moncton or in Halifax, if you have any questions, about the process, but once again, feel free to reach out, ask us any questions about it. But like I said, do your own research, check your manuals, check your owner's guides, and look for yourself there. The OE writes those guides. If you're talking to a sales guy, you're talking to a service writer, they may not have all the information. So, so once again, if you do have questions, you can contact the OE directly, and they'll be happy to answer your questions as well too. So, okay, great. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to end this call, and I hope everyone has a great evening, and we'll be talking to you later. Thanks, everyone.